I'm going to show you how to take the Divi blog module and turn it into your very own carousel slider. Unfortunately, Divi doesn't come with every type of feature a web designer needs. So there are going to be times when we need to add our own custom code. And that's where this video comes in today. There's no need to purchase or install any plugins. There's no need to know any coding because I'm going to give you all the code you need. All you have to do is copy and paste. It's easy as that. Hey there, ladies and gents, and welcome to this new video today. First of all, I just want to thank you all for subscribing. I have reached over 100 subscribers, so I'm quite chuffed about that. So thanks very much for that. And then thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this new tutorial. In order to follow along with this tutorial, you are going to need a few things. You're going to need a domain name, web hosting, as well as Divi. If you don't have any of these, check the links in the description. There is a link to Green Geeks, which is a web hosting company, so you can get a domain name and web hosting through them. And then also check the description for a link to Divi, where you can get a 10% discount if you purchase Divi today. So let's jump in to my laptop and let's get building. Let me show you how this quickly works. So these are our blog posts. You can see you can hover over it, you can click into the blog post, or you can click over here to read more. But the main thing is how the blog is styled, or the posts are styled, each individual post. And then we have these arrows where we can scroll through the blog post. So if I click on this right arrow, you'll see it scrolls through it. And then on the left arrow, just goes back. And then let me just show you that it is responsive on all devices. So I'm just going to come right click and inspect. And then if I click on this right arrow, you'll see it goes to each individual post. And then I can click on the back arrow and it does the same thing. And then also because it's mobile, we can swipe. So just pretend this, what I'm shaking up and down here is your finger. And this is what it would do on mobile. And you can go back as well. Then let's just have a look at phone. So again, you can scroll through like this, or use your finger to scroll through all the posts. So that's what we will be building right now. Before you start building, the first thing you need to make sure of is that you have all your blog posts set up. So I'm just in the back end of my dashboard here, and I'm going to come over to posts and just click on that. And you'll see I've just set up these blog posts. So there's blog post 1 all the way to blog post 12. Now in the example I've used here, I've only made this to show the last 10 blog posts. You can set it for however many blog posts you want to show on the front end. So I do have 12 here, but I only show the last 10. Next thing you want to do, you want to go to the page where you want to build your carousel slider. In my case, I'm just going to come over here. I'm just doing it on a brand new page. You could use an existing page, just do it in a new section. Or if you want, you can just build it on a new page like I'm going to do. So you want to just add your section. My section's already here. And then you want to add a new row. So we're going to click on the green button to add a new row. And we just need a single column row. And then the module we're going to put in there is obviously the blog module. So you can just, in the search bar, type blog, and then select this module that says blog. Let me just close this, or I should say narrow it. And this is what the blog module looks like when we first load it in the module. So there are ways. You can either have it full width like this, or if you come to the design tab and you click on this layout option, you can change full width to grid. And that's how it will look in grid. But there's no way to put these individual posts into a carousel where people can swipe through them. So that's what we are going to do in this tutorial. And you don't need to use plugins or buy any plugins. It's just some copy and paste code I'm going to give you. And I'm just going to show you how we make some changes to this blog module. Let's go back to content. Sorry, first of all, let me change this back to full width. And let's go back to content. So I'm going to click on the content section. The post type, we want to keep it as posts. Then the post count, I'm going to leave it as a default 10. You can change this to number whatever you want to. And then include categories. You can select if you want specific categories. Otherwise, if you want all the categories, I think if you just leave it unchecked, it by default includes all the categories. And then the date format, I'm just going to leave as default. You can change that if you want. Content length, I do want to show the excerpt. So and the excerpt is this like 2 lines of texture. And then use post excerpts, I'm going to leave as yes. Sorry if I'm saying this wrong. I'm not sure. And with my Lisp, I think it doesn't come out that well. But anyway, then the excerpt length, I just left it again as default. You can change that if you want. And guys, I just want to let you know, I'm not going to make too much styling changes here. The main thing is to get the carousel slider working. Post offset number I also left as default. And then we can click on elements. Show featured image is this large image here. So I do want to show the featured image for each blog post. If you don't want to, you can just select no. Read more button. As in the one I built, I do have the read more button there. It's not really a button, it's just a link. So I'm going to select yes. And you'll see it adds a read more there. Show author, you'll see in mine, I've taken the author. I just really have the blog post title, the date, the excerpt, and the read more button. So let me just go back there. So I'm going to take the show author off. Show date I'm going to leave on. Show categories I'm going to take off. Show comment count I'm going to leave off. Show excerpt I'm going to leave yes. And show pagination I'm going to take off. And this you do want to take off because people are going to be able to scroll. You don't want pagination where they can click on for instance, page 2 to go to page 2. This is going to be a scrollable carousel, so we don't need this pagination. So that's all I'm going to do there. We can then go to the design, and like I said, I'm not going to really do anything different over here. All I want to do just is read more. Irritates me that it's in lowercase. I'm just going to make it all uppercase and maybe make it a bit bigger like that. And then just remember, this layout, make sure you leave it as full width. Don't go and put it in grid, just leave it as full width. And guys, like I said, you can go ahead and change the styling of how you want your text, your colors, your images, and all that. I'm not going to do that in this tutorial, but feel free to do that. The last thing we want to do, we want to come to this advanced tab, and then we want to come to CSS ID and classes and click on that. And then if you check the description, sorry guys, it's going to start to storm here, so I'm sorry if you hear thunder and rain in the background. But anyway, let's carry on. If you come to and kids screaming, sorry about that. If you sorry, I'm losing track here. If you come to if you go to the description, in the description you'll find a link to this code pen. And this is where you're going to find all the code. So there's a few things we need to do. And the first thing I want you to do is just for the blog module, we're going to sort out the columns in that now because I actually forgot about that. I should have actually set up these columns first, but that's fine. Let's just come to where it says page settings, custom CSS, and ignore DG arrows. What we want to get the next class, which is DG blog carousel. Let's copy that, not the dot, just the word DG blog carousel. So let's copy that. Let's go back to our builder, and under CSS class, let's right click and just paste it in there. And then that's all we need to do for the blog settings. So we can save that. And as I said, we need to just sort out our columns here. And this I forgot. So what you want to do, let's click on the column structure. And sorry, it was not one column. We're going to use 3 columns. And you'll see why now. And what you want to do, just take the blog module and just move it into the second column. So it looks like that. With that done, let's go back to our code pen. And you'll see here, right at the top, it says columns 1 and 3 settings. So this code must go under the advanced tab in the custom CSS main element. So what you want to do, copy this code that says width 40 pixels with the important afterwards. Let's right click and copy that. and this must go in columns 1 and 3. So let's go back to our builder and let's go into the row settings. So we do that by just hovering over here and clicking on the green box on those settings. And let's go into column 1, and then it says we must come to the advanced tab, and then in the custom CSS under the main element we must paste that code. So right click, or first click in there, so you see number 1 there, and then right click and then paste. And that will give our first column a width of 40 pixels. We then need to do the same code to the third or last column. So let's click on this back button, or you can just click this green save button and click on the third column now, and then come to the advanced tab, click custom CSS, and then under main element click inside there so the 1 appears, then right click and paste the code, and you'll see now that column, the width is much less. Now if we come back to our code, the next line says column 2 settings, then under the advanced tab in the custom CSS main element we need to take this code here, so it's width calc and then brackets 100% minus 80 pixels, and it has the important. Let's right click that and copy that, and then let's go back to the builder. Let's click on the back button, or again click on the green button here. Let's go into the second column. Let's go to the advanced tab. Let's click on custom CSS, and under the main element let's click in there and right click and paste our code. And now you'll see it gives us a much bigger blog module. And what this code is just telling us, remember we made columns 1 and 3 40 pixels. So what this code is just doing is saying, for the second column, take the width. We want it 100%, but because we've already made the other 2 columns 40 pixels, so 40 times 2 is 80, make that column 2 100%, but less 80 pixels, because we've already got 80 pixels on each side of the middle column. So that's what that code is telling the column to do. And then the next thing, let's just go back, and in the row settings, let's just go to the design tab, and let's click on the sizing section. And for use custom gutter width, we want to select yes, and we want to drag this column all the way to the left so that we are on 1. So that's all we're going to do for the row. We can then save that. The next thing we need to do, we need to add these arrow icons. So you won't be able to probably get to it, like I can't click on this add new button. So let's click on these 3 dots and let's just go into the wireframe mode so we can just see this a bit better. And now let's click on the add new module button and let's search for icon, and then click on the icon module. And then in the search icon, you can use any icon you want. Obviously arrows look the best, but whatever tickles your fancy. I'm just going to search for arrow. And the icons I used, just want to see here quickly. Okay, so it was those style icons. So I use these icons over here. So I'm going to select, for the left hand side, I'm going to select the left hand arrow. Then once you've selected your icon, let's go to the design tab and let's click on icon. So here we can change the icon color. I'm going to choose black. And then for the icon size, I'm going to make mine 32 pixels. And that's all we're going to do for the design of the icon. Let's click on the advanced tab and let's come to CSS ID and classes. Let's click on that. And now we're going to add an ID and a class. So if you come to that code pen and you come to page settings custom CSS, the first line of code under that has got this class of .dg-arrows. Just copy dg-arrows, not the dot. And let's go back to the builder, and under CSS class, let's click in there and let's paste that. So your CSS class must have the class of dg-arrows. Let's go back to that code pen. And now you want to come over to the right hand side here under this JS. And you want to come down here and you'll see there's these IDs here. One is DG-left arrow and the other one is DG-right arrow. So don't copy this hashtag sign or hash sign. I don't know what you call it nowadays. Just copy the actual ID, which is dg-left-arrow. And don't copy the quotation marks either. So copy that, come back to the builder, and now under CSID, we can paste that ID. So the ID is dg-left-arrow. And that's all we're going to do for the left-hand icon. Let's save that. And then let's duplicate this icon and just drag it into our right-hand column. Well, our third column, I should say. Then let's go into the settings. First thing we want to do, we want to change the arrow to point to the right now. So I'm just going to find that arrow, which is this one over here. The design tab, we're not going to change anything there. But in the advanced tab, if we click on CSS ID and classes, we just want to change this left to right. So you can either do it like I just did there, where I swapped left with right. Otherwise, if you want to make 100% sure, just come over to the code pen and then copy dg-right-arrow. Not the hash or hashtag sign, just the dg-right-arrow. And no, not the quotation marks. And then just put it in your CSS ID. So that's it. We can save that. And now let's save our design. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open this in a new tab quickly. This way we can just see how it looks on the front end, because it doesn't actually take effect in the builder when we start adding all the code. So you can see there's our navigation arrows, and our blog content sits in the center here. Yes, but it's not looking like we want yet, and now this is where we need to start adding some code. So let's go back to that code pen and let's see what we need to do next. So over here, the page settings, custom CSS, what you want to do is copy this entire code. So not the page settings, custom CSS, just all the code underneath that, like I have. Right click and copy that. Let's go back to the builder. And what we want to do, now you can add the code in your, if I come to the front end here, if we go to Divi theme options, if you scroll down, you'll see I have a bunch of code here, but don't worry about that. You can add your code in here under custom CSS. You can come to the theme customizer, and under additional CSS, you can add your code there. So let's just go out there. Other ways you can do it, you can add a new row here, and we might as well do this. So let's actually do that. Let's add a new row. Let's just add a single column row, and let's search for a code module. And then let's select the code module, and I'm just going to make this quite wide. And what you can do here is add style tags. So just type style like that, and it will automatically create this closing style tag. So just remember, you got this left chevron and right chevron, or arrow, whatever you want to call it. And then in between those style tags, you can paste that code like that. So I think let me just do that. I'm going to paste the code like that. The other way you can do that, you can come to the page settings here, and that's why I actually have it under page settings, is because that's how I initially did it. But I'm just going to do it in a code module. You can come to the advanced tab, custom CSS, and you can come in there, and there in here you don't need to write script tags, and you can just paste the CSS in there. And don't worry about these unknown properties. I don't know why Divi does that. These are known properties, so don't worry about them. So I'm just going to delete that because I'm actually going to use the code module to paste in my CSS. So let's just open that again. So once you paste it in the CSS, click the save button. And then let's go to the front end and let's refresh. And then we now have the page looking like we need it to do. But you'll see these arrows aren't working. And another thing, these arrows are sitting on the top of our page. So I've forgotten something. What I've done, just quickly off screen, and this is my fault. If you come back to the code module, I've just added this now, this row settings. We need to paste some code in the row settings under the advanced tab in the custom CSS main element. So you'll see this now. I didn't have it initially, but you'll see this code now because I've just done it off screen. Let's just copy that code. Let's go back to our builder. And over here, the first row, let's click in that. Let's come to the Advanced tab and let's click on Custom CSS. And then under Main Element here, we can just paste that code. And then let's save that, and then that should sort our arrows out so that they display in the middle. So if I refresh the page, you'll see now the arrows are in the middle. Only thing is now the arrows aren't working. So let's go back to the code pen. See, we have this JavaScript code here. Let's copy the entire code. And let's go back to our Divi builder. And let's go back into the code module. And under this closing style tag, let's just push enter twice. And let's open another tag. And we do that by using the left arrow key or chevron and typing in the word script, and then close it with the right arrow key or right chevron. We can push enter and just come between those tags and paste that JavaScript. So once that is done, let's save our page. Let's come to the front end and let's refresh. If we click on it, you'll see that it now works. And let's check that it's working on smaller screen sizes. So I'm just going to inspect. Let's go to a tablet first. And let's click on the right area. And you'll see it's working nicely. And then you can also use your finger to go through it. And we can go back as well. Perfect. Let's check on a phone. Let's click on the right arrow. And that's working as well. And we can also scroll through it with our finger, and we can go back if we want, and that. So that is all working. Congratulations, guys. You now have a blog module that your website visitors can scroll through. I don't really know if you want me to go through this code. I'm not going to. I think because it takes up too much time in the video. But if you ever want me to go through code, maybe just leave a comment. If you want me to explain what everything is doing here, just this will make this video extremely long. And I'm trying to keep these videos, these where I just do some changes to modules in Divi. I'm trying to keep them as short as possible because I find that when videos get longer than 15 minutes, nobody seems to watch right till the end. So if you do want me in future to run through this code and explain exactly what everything's doing here, let me know. In other videos that I've done, it doesn't seem like people get this far and maybe get bored of me running through what the code is actually doing, because maybe people don't really care what the code's doing as long as it's, working. So I'm going to leave it there, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope yours is working. Thanks, ladies and gents, for watching this video. I hope it was very helpful to you. If you did enjoy this video and got some use out of it, please can I ask you to leave a like, as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And then for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, I'm trying to reach 150 subscribers as fast as possible. Please hit that subscribe button, and then also remember to hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. If you'd like me to build something else in Divi that doesn't come standard with Divi, please leave a comment in the comment section, or you can send me an email. You'll find my email address in the description. And for those of you who need a website built and don't feel like you have the time or expertise, please check the description. You'll find a link to my website, and you can book a call through there, and we can go ahead and discuss your project. Lastly, if you are interested in any other type of Divi tutorials, please check these playlists that should be popping up around about now. There are website builds as well as other Divi tutorials where we change the functionality of some modules. Ladies and gents, thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Cheers.